remember a few weeks ago how Nikki Bella said, she wished that Brie Bella died in the room or whatever. Well, maybe, you could wish that this feud would have died in the room. The womb. I botched that, as they would say in WWE.
That's a botch. Yeah, that's a botch.
As the IWC would say, that's a botch.
And now, here's Tyler Werner and Wade Kearns.
Yes, we're coming off of the Night of Champions pay-per-view. And, that feud, I guess, has not yet died in whatever sense, as far as the Divas feud goes. But yeah, I mean, a bit of a, couple changes made to Night of Champions for obvious reasons. Obviously, like the day before the pay-per-view, you had the big news that Roman Reigns, had an unusual hernia, and
I think they call it a sports hernia.
Yeah,
I believe that's what they called it.
Yes, I mean, some kind of sports hernia. And so, yeah, now there's been conflicting reports. Like, I read, 6 to 8 weeks, and that, but then on, like, Raw, they were saying several months. So I don't know what
Worst case scenario, best case scenario, it sounds like it's 4 to 6 weeks. Worst case scenario is at least 3 months, which would still put him on, perfect timing for the Rumble, essentially. Yeah,
for the build-up to WrestleMania.
Although I question WWE if Reigns, if he is if it's 3 months, I question them whether they think he's still ready for a main event push then.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't he hasn't been on television for 3 months. Was he even ready at this stage to even main event WrestleMania yet? You're still trying to build him up to it. We're still trying to build him up, test the waters yet to see if he was even worthy of main eventing it against. I'm assuming it's still Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, one guy goes down, opportunity for some other guys in the roster. In this case, I think a big opportunity for Dean Ambrose to step up and maybe show his main event caliber for the next couple of months without a Roman Reigns, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That was, one of the things we were wondering about Night of Champions. Dean Ambrose might return in some capacity. And, I guess some people might be happy that Roman Reigns got hurt because now, like, Dean Ambrose is back in the picture and, kind of in a big way, which you'd see on Monday Night Raw. But yeah, I guess best wishes for Roman Reigns recovering and that hopefully, he gets back at a good time so that, for his sake, he can, kind of get back into the main event picture as they build up to WrestleMania at that point. And, if that's the worst case scenario that does come up, 3 months or whatever.
Well, I don't know. I guess I could ask you this question. If he... excuse me. Still got breakfast. Hasn't stayed down yet. But no, my question to you would be, if the scenario is eventually that he can only come back during the Rumble, would you still, have him win it? If that was his return date, essentially, was the Rumble, would you still have him win it? Or would you say too much has passed? He hasn't proven himself really yet. We don't know if this guy's ready. Maybe another year. Year we can wait till we actually pull the trigger on the guy.
I don't know. The thing is, who else would they have win it? I'd have to take into consideration. But I don't know.
Well, like I said, for me, honestly, there's three options. There's Dean Ambrose if he does well these couple months without in the number 2 spot. Daniel Bryan, although if he's turning the Rumble, I wouldn't go that route because he just came back, and I don't think you just fall back into the main event picture. Even though I know that's what a lot of fans want to see.
Yeah.
But I would have just fallen back there. And there's John Cena, which I know is going to make people just groaning at, but it's just a sad fact based on the current roster depth that as of right now, Bray Wyatt is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds like Jericho won the feud in the end.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if they're gonna throw something together or what, but
best case scenario is there's gonna be a segment or he might interfere in a match.
Yeah.
Like I said, there has been rumors of him feuding with maybe Dolph Ziggler. I think that's a step backwards for these two gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Ziggler's only Intercontinental Champion, and he won it from the Miz. Yeah. I don't know, the Intercontinental. I think ever since Bad News Barrett lost the Intercontinental, that title's lost some value, certainly. So, they put it on the Miz with his new gimmick, and that didn't last long. And Ziggler, a former world champion, and now he's down the card. Yeah, it's one of those things.
That's one thing I hated about Raw, because I actually saw the match in detail. Yet R-Truth, I guess he was wearing new ring attire in that.
Yeah.
And the whole entire time the commentary was joking about how they can't figure out who's Dolph Ziggler and who's R-Truth.
Yeah.
What did you not
I didn't even look into that match, to be honest. Actually,
Tyler, I'm not shitting you. That's the entire match is them joking about how they can't tell the difference between R-Truth and Dolph Ziggler. Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Talk about burying a guy on commentary pretty much to a point where it's just like, I mean, the point where it's like nobody even acknowledges Dolph Ziggler's wrestling ability anymore. It's just oh look, he wears those stupid pink shorts. What a feminist, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually didn't even watch that match. I just kind of skipped through it on YouTube, and I guess it's a good thing I did, because I guess I didn't miss much, but.
No, you just missed shitty wrestling comedy again.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know, Miz and Damian Sandow come up, and I'm just I'm not interested in it at all. And I don't know. I just kind of skipped through that there. Get to the main event. So, and speaking of the main event, Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins.
Who will be fighting?
Which is weird. Yeah, which is weird because they're going to be fighting on pay-per-view this Sunday. So yeah, I guess that's now. Yeah, maybe there's a possibility that at Night of Champions that Dean Ambrose comes back and interferes in this match.
No. I mean, I could see maybe they make some changes. Maybe they add Kane to the mix. Maybe turn it into a handicap match.
Yeah.
Just so Rollins can try to get a win back. And who knows? Maybe he gets the win back there, but it's only done in form of a handicap match. Maybe.
Yeah.
And they beat up Roman Reigns. They're about to maybe, put him through the cinder blocks again.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Dean Ambrose music hits, and he comes through the crowd, and he starts beating up Rollins again.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's but I mean they had this match on Raw. I guess before the pay-per-view. I mean it was a pretty decent match. I mean it wasn't a pay-per-view length match that you would expect between these two, but there were some good spots in the match, I think. Roman Reigns getting the win
clean
off the spear.
Straight up clean.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean
which means throw these two out as being a possible main event of Mania.
Yeah, I mean obviously, I wouldn't see Roman Reigns losing here to Seth Rollins, obviously. So that's a bit of a surprise, though, that they had that match on Raw before they even have it on the pay-per-view. And that they have a clean finish.
I mean, to me, that means something happening is happening at Night of Champions. Something's gonna...
Yeah.
It's gonna get changed to this match. Essentially. Yeah. I mean, that's just my guess. I mean, I'm probably gonna be right, too, but...
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, whether that makes it like Kane in a handicap match or, a possible surprise Dean Ambrose interference or something, I guess remains to be seen. And yeah, I guess when we go over our predictions, we'll maybe we'll get back to that. Now, of course, also on this show, you had, throughout the night, you had the plugging of the fact, the whole Mark Henry rallies America tonight on Raw.
Yeah.
That was that was saved for the main event spot.
That was the last. That's what closed Raw.
The closing segment, yeah, not Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns match, but this Mark Henry rallies America segment. Michael Cole bringing out Mark Henry, and Mark Henry kind of rallying America, I guess, in a sense, before they have this match at Night of Champions. I guess coming off of that arm wrestling. Well, they called it like an international arm wrestling challenge or something on SmackDown.
Which I kind of saw. Like they pretty much stole. This whole Rusev feud is almost straight out of the 80s when it comes to wrestling. Yeah. As far as, the foreign enemy and the American hero pretty much in that. Yeah. Foreign hero needs to cheat to win. And so, I mean, like, it's straight up Iron Sheik stuff we're watching essentially right now.
Yeah.
Iran #1, America, pop, point.
Yeah. So anyways, you had
got Nikolai Volkov singing the Soviet national anthem also.
Yeah. So you have Mark Henry kind of fired up here. Yeah, and I mean we talked before we started the show. We thought it was funny. Mark Henry, who really pulled off that fake retirement. Last summer.
So he clearly has can cut at least a great promo in his career. He has that capability in that, but I'll give him credit. It was left field. I don't know. I don't know if I would have did it going up against Monday Night Football, but they did, especially at a time when the game was getting close.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, to me, was this done more as a response to the fact that it was the 200th anniversary of our national anthem.
Yeah.
And I said, WWE being the patriotic company that they say they are, would not miss an opportunity to make a big, American flag. You got American flags in all four ring areas. You have the fans waving these mini American flags as well. I mean, even Mark Henry doing the freaking Pledge of Allegiance is.
Yeah, at one point he's leading them into the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's a straight up 80s wrestling segment that I was watching here, essentially. But as the ratings showed, it tanked.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I think Mark Henry Rusev gets blamed for that. Obviously, Roman Reigns is going to get blamed for that too. Clearly, the guy's not getting as over as they're hoping he's getting over.
Yeah.
Because when you lose the viewership they lost in the third hour, I mean, it wasn't just one segment clearly that dropped viewership.
Yeah.
Let's make some noise, come on!
Yeah, Nick Foles and the Eagles starting to come back might have some hand in that, but yeah, I mean, it was another one of those things. Like I didn't get how they had this at the very end when this is like a mid-card match here. It's not a main event match.
Like I said, best reason is it was the 200th anniversary.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Like I said, this WWE has always done this whole idea where I was like, the NFL does something, we got to do something too.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Domestic violence is an issue now. So it doesn't make domestic violence an issue now.
I mean, I don't know here. I mean, maybe they could have opened the show with this, or maybe they could. I don't know, but then maybe they.
Tyler, I don't know. They had their strongest segment of the night, the main event, at a point in the game when the game isn't even happening. So you pull your strongest card out, which is John Cena. Your biggest attraction right now, which is Brock Lesnar. You throw those two together at the moment when your competition, your maybe biggest competition of the night, isn't even competing at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe they could have. They didn't have to have that at the. I mean, they could have had maybe an hour gap or something between. I don't know. I mean, they wanted it to happen at halftime, I guess, with John Cena and this and that.
Because they were hoping people would switch over to Raw, and I'm pretty sure people did. I definitely did, and I happened to catch the segment. Oddly enough, as soon as halftime happens, John Cena says, "Hey guys, it's halftime," which makes me think that the whole plan all along was to do the segment around halftime, whether it was the second hour or not.
Yeah.
As soon as halftime happens with the Eagles and the Colts, they're going to do halftime then, essentially. Yeah. I don't know how it's going to work if a Monday Night Football game gets delayed due to lightning or anything. Yeah. I guess during the delay, they'll maybe play some segments or something like that. But as soon as halftime happened, that's when the segment started, pretty much. As soon as I switched the channel, I see John Cena yelling, "Hey, it's halftime, Paul!"
Yeah. Well, I mean, because when I think about it, I mean, the game started at 8:30, and it goes like 3 hours. It probably doesn't end until like 11:30.
Yeah.
At least from. So I mean that's still the game. The game was still going on when Raw was going off the air.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, and then plus, I mean, maybe I was watching some of the post game stuff too, and that. And, but I mean, by that point, it was 11:30 or later. So
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's what they chose it. They chose that segment there at the end with Mark Henry, and that honoring the national anthem, and and even though Mark Henry would go to the Pledge of Allegiance, I guess instead. I don't know, and of course, it led to a brawl, which you would expect.
Yeah, Mark Henry dominates. Because the whole point here is the hype up that Rusev might actually be in danger of losing his first match now. I still think it's gonna happen. I still think John Cena's just slowly waiting in that corner somewhere for that moment to happen, which I plugged. It was gonna happen doing at WrestleMania, but there's been also new developments as far as a certain legend might come back for a match now all of a sudden.
And who
But-
is that? I haven't been following.
Stone Cold Steve Austin on his podcast, and if you notice something, Austin got his podcast plugged. Now, best of my knowledge, this guy is not on a contract with this company anymore.
Yeah.
And it was Kevin Nash of all things too, and it was a can't miss podcast. Now, I listened to the podcast. I do listen to Austin's podcast, along with Ross's, and of course I listened to Jericho's one when he was talking to Dave Batista recently, and even the Triple H one, which was pretty good. But all the Nash and Austin one was toilet and potty humor most of the time. They really were telling jokes in that about it wasn't so much about wrestling. At least what I heard. I'm trying to think. This was a two-parter because sometimes they do two-parters for these kind of interviews. But I don't know. But Austin the whole time was talking about on his podcast about how he's been training hard for he's been training in that, and there is this internal feeling to come in that maybe Austin wants to come back to actually do one more match, assuming they find the right creative opponent and the right the money's there.
Yeah.
The money's. It's all about the opponent and the money, really, in the end. Well, Punk's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's gone. The lawsuit, in my mind, means this guy's lucky if we even see him 10 years from now in this company. He's gone. He's really burned whatever bridge left in this company. Yeah. Expect just as long as Bret Hart till you see this guy walking back in. And by then, he's probably going to be out of wrestling shape at that stage in his life. Too old to even perform at the level. So I'm not even expecting this guy to come back for a match. He might just come back for a quick Hall of Fame plug and that's it.
Yeah.
But the only other guy that makes sense, really, for Austin as far as, is John Cena. Really. It is. It's the only one that makes sense.
Different, contrast of characters.
No, he was
part of it. And then
Austin
Big
was the face of the WWE at one point. So the only way to make sense is face of the WWE.
Yeah.
Which is John Cena. And like I said, at this point, I can't spot out Cena's opponent, assuming he doesn't walk in as champion again.
Yeah.
But, I brought up Rusev is a good idea. I know even Hogan plugged the hell out of it. Hulk Hogan makes no sense whatsoever. But I don't even think Austin makes any sense. Because the one thing Austin is not bringing up, which could still play a factor, is his neck.
Yeah.
This guy had the same neck problems that Edge had. Now, granted, he did have surgery.
Yeah.
Best of my knowledge. I don't know if Edge ever had the surgery yet on his neck. But, he needs to pass a physical yet.
Yeah.
But he can take a bump even still.
Yeah.
Because if his neck is still very fragile, like he said constantly, which is the reason why he said he's really is looking to get back in the ring, which is mainly that one bad bump and that's it. He might be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Then that's how fragile a neck might be. So I don't know. I mean, obviously Austin would know better about his neck than anybody else would, and who knows? Maybe he had some doctors. Maybe they said, yeah, maybe one match won't hurt.
Yeah.
Or it's just one more match.
Yeah.
Now, I'm surprised he would pick San Francisco, California, Levi Stadium as one, especially when the rumor is it might be that 32 might be happening at A&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. You'd think if you want to sell a pay-per-view match, have the native Texan come back for one more and have it at A&T Stadium, this massive Cowboy Stadium essentially in Dallas. But no, so Austin says, as always said, it's about the opponent and the money. Well, the third option is the doctor. And maybe he doesn't want to bring it up because he brings that up, maybe WWE is reluctant to even pay him the money then. Because it's like, well, Steve, have you passed the physical yet? Has a doctor actually medically cleared you to perform? Because, like I said, WWE has been very reluctant to have talent go in the ring that might die in a match. Or worse, physically hurt themselves to the point where they can't even walk anymore, maybe. Which is why hence Hulk Hogan can beg all he wants. That back, the hip, the knee, I don't see him passing a doctor, a physical. He's got to take a bump. He's got to take at least one attitude adjustment from John Cena in the match. And as soon as that happens, his back might just give out then.
Yeah.
Not to mention the guy's just he's so limber when he walks. I don't even notice that when Hulk Hogan walks. It's just
Yeah.
there's clearly something hurting in him still. So to me, it's Hogan plugging something out of that, but I don't see it happening. Best bet still is Sting performing at Mania.
Yeah.
The guy is actually still physically in shape, and so on. So, but like I said, it's just something that got brought up. Austin has been bringing up that he's been training for something. He might be training for a freaking movie role again, for all we know. He hasn't really given the details. But all right, that's more. Once again, the old speculation is that Austin might come back for one more match. I don't know how you top the Rock WrestleMania 19 match. To me, that was the best swan song you could give the guy. Faces his biggest rival. He loses. There's like a touching moment in that match where like Rock kind of like says, "Hey, I want to thank you for everything." And Austin, Rock leaves. Austin gets his like final like curtain call pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess people are trying to say that, well, it should have been advertised as his last match. Well,
You never know.
Austin didn't know until the match happened that this was going to be his last match. And if you listen to Jim Ross's commentary, he's plugging it as if it's his final match. He doesn't say it's his last match because WWE didn't know this was going to be his last match or not. But Austin pretty much knew it was his last match. His hit from the knees to his neck injury, he couldn't take a bump anymore. But no, so I heard that, and if that's the case, John Cena is the only logical person now. Punk is gone. WWE can, I don't even think WWE even wants to even bring up the idea of the Punk that, hey, Austin coming back. And, I know you guys don't even have that match in that. No, at this point, WWE would rather just fight this lawsuit with Punk probably over merchandise sales.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess maybe we'll get on to the pay-per-view predictions part of this, edition of the Great Wrestling Debate, since we obviously, it's one of those when we have a pay-per-view on our hands this Sunday. Yes. So yeah, I'll get the card up here. Again, I mean, there's some matches that you wonder if maybe they're going to throw on.
Mm-hmm. Well, the pre-show is going to be Jericho on.
Jericho, yeah.
It's going to be a peep show segment.
Yeah, with Christian.
Christian, who's still employed at the company, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. He had a concussion last time. It sounds like his wrestling career might be over for the company. It sounds like they might he might be switching just to. Then again, peep show. Yeah. Maybe this is where he comes back to as an active performer. Maybe
I don't know. For him right now, it sounds like they're using Plan B for Christian. Yeah. So anyways, you got that as the pre-show.
Yeah.
Now I have on this card here on Wikipedia. It seems like they have 8 matches right now. One of them, the Usos versus Goldust and Stardust for the tag team championships. I wonder if maybe this is where they change hands. I don't know. I mean they turn Stardust and Goldust heel.
Yep.
And it just feels like the Usos, they haven't been what they were since they were facing the Wyatt family in that feud.
Is it Jay also nursing like an storyline injury too?
Yeah.
I believe it's
so
Jay.
I think they're gonna. Yeah. So I think they're gonna lose the belts here, and
I mean, there was that one promo that they cut where they were arguing who was the better Uso too.
Yeah.
So do you actually split these guys up maybe?
Because
they're both athletic guys in that.
Yeah.
So
they're both a good tag team.
And it's always natural that WWE, when they split up a tag team, they want to start like a feud with that team then. And I'm not gonna lie, I would be interested in a Jimmy and Jay Uso feud possibly.
Yeah,
but
it could be.
I don't know if it happens the Night of Champions. They obviously they're gonna have a freaking rematch clause too, probably.
Yeah, and then you wonder maybe they have to try to keep it together. Maybe
I'm actually gonna go though the Usos though.
All right.
The Ascension lost at NXT. Their almost year-long title reign of the NXT Championship has ended to the Lucho Dragons, I believe, is what Sin Cara and Kalisto call themselves now. Well, at least that's the thing. Sin Cara finally gets a WWE belt finally in his career. It's not even the real Sin Cara. It's Hunico in a Sin Cara mask.
So I don't know. Maybe they move, those guys from NXT up at some point.
I mean, they were on main event when they were plugging the NXT pay-per-view, but they might have just been up there to plug the pay-per-view, like they had Zayn and the other guys doing.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, although I'm not a big fan of Gold and Stardust, I don't know. I have a feeling that maybe they're going to put the belts on.
I'm going to go the Usos because I think the Ascension might be their next opponent, maybe.
Because I haven't seen too much. Is the Ascension like a heel team or?
Yeah.
Okay.
We saw him live.
Oh yeah, that's
they beat R-Truth.
I mean,
I remember that match because
Yeah.
I remember that stupid kid in the back
Yeah.
kept yelling, "What's up? What's up?" the whole entire match. Because most people at the time didn't know who the Incession were because most people besides me didn't watch the NXT product. There were a few NXT chants that broke out, and that's who watched the product. Because anybody who watches NXT knows that it's the better wrestling product right now in the company. It's like an hour-long show and has the better wrestling product.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they bring up the Ascension. Maybe they turn him face.
I mean, right now they're feuding with Kenta, who now is being called Hideo Itami, I believe is the name that he changed his name, which got a lot of internet people freaking out. Oh, they changed Kenta's name. That's it. They've killed the character already in that.
Who is this?
I mean, until you look up, of course, the word Atami, which means pain in Japanese. So, and like I said, Vince is big keen on one short name. So maybe maybe he gets called the main roster. They drop Hideo and they just call it Tommy, which is it. In Japanese means pain.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool name then, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about the Kenta debut. It was very well done. Flair was not there. Apparently he was hospitalized.
Yeah.
So they had William Regal, who's the GM at NXT, come out and do it, which I think was better. But yeah, Kenta comes out. He's just learning English too. Like he's cut a small promo on that, but there was a point we did a promo in Japanese, and I will say this: the fans didn't shit on him for doing it. Now, I later learned that NXT apparently was shown live on Japanese television. Like, NXT was shown live on Japanese television for this guy's debut. Which shows you already how big of a star this guy is in Japan. When they got to show NXT live on television for Japan.
Yeah.
So, like I said, no, I remember when the Ascension came out, they threw him out of the ring, and you're thinking, oh, God, 2-on-1. And Kenta comes in, and all of a sudden he takes the tie off, and he starts...
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he beats up both of the Ascension. Remember the former tag team champions here. Beats them both up single-handedly then. Then he grabs a chair. He places the chair down, and he sits on the chair and just says, hey, you want more? You want some more then?
Beast mode!
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, impressive debut on Kenta. I'm sorry, Hideo Itami. I gotta get used to saying that name now because it's a long name in that. But, so I'm pretty sure Kevin Steen and Prince Devitt are gonna name changes too when they eventually get their debut on NXT. But that's why I like NXT though, because of the talent they got here.
Yeah.
And so on. But I am nervous when these guys come to the main roster.
To the main
roster,
roster,
it's like all of a sudden it's like I get it. I get there's probably different creative aspects here that we're talking about here between the main roster writers and the NXT writers, maybe. But still, it's like, does anybody watch the NXT product when they call these guys up?
Yeah.
Because I almost feel like it's a 180 when they pull in some of these characters here. Because like, it's just that guy never pulled that off in NXT.
Yeah.
If he did, he wouldn't even survive then down there. But I don't know. Okay, so there's my NXT rant there for the day.
Yeah. Divas Championship match, triple threat.
Yeah.
Paige versus AJ versus Nikki Bella. I think Paige is going to hold on to the belt here.
Oh, boy.
I think there's going to be shenanigans with this match.
You think Brie's going to interfere?
Yeah.
Even though she has yet to really strike, because she's really has yet to shown fortitude when it comes to her sister, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what? I have a feeling that this. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying this here, but I'm gonna go Nikki Bella.
Yeah. I mean, that would.
I just feel like they're gonna try so hard to keep this feud going. Whether people like it or not, they're gonna just try to get this feud going.
I mean, maybe I'm thinking like maybe there's interference, and then this leads up to a Nikki versus Brie match at the next pay-per-view or something. But
the only way they're
not that I'm in favor.
The only way they're gonna go that route, how is it the towel's on the line? Because clearly nobody gives a shit about a Nikki Brie feud, and there's like nothing on the line or anything.
Yeah. So
this company, they might just say, you know what, we're just gonna give Nikki the belt just so we can keep this Brie Nikki feud going.
I mean, Paige.
At least maybe have a purpose.
I mean,
then
Paige would probably get some kind of rematch clause then.
Yeah, but here's the problem with rematches, though. It's not like they have to happen at the next pay-per-view. They might just do it on Raw, and that ends that then.
Yeah, which would be a shame. But,
yeah.
But, so I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. So,
yeah.
I mean, obviously it's they threw AJ Lee in there, and then, it's an interesting mix there, I guess, now. Mark Henry versus Rusev singles match. Obviously, streak continues here with Rusev.
Yeah, I don't see Mark Henry winning it.
Yeah,
There's no point. He's
right. Yeah,
he's just there to help the young guys
Yeah.
out. He's Big Show pretty much, I guess. In a
right.
way.
Yeah,
There's no point in pushing these guys for the roof anymore, really.
yeah. So yeah, that's that.
Mhm.
No surprise there. Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz again for the Intercontinental Championship. I don't see The Miz winning it back.
Yeah.
I see Dolph Ziggler obviously holding on to the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm not, not too thrilled about that match again. Having that match again.
I mean, it wasn't a bad match at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
It actually
but
was. Actually, was that nice sequence where Miz was able to reverse. I think it was the Famouser into a skull crushing finale. So yeah, no. I mean, it wasn't a bad match, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Just the gimmick. I don't know, and just the feeling that both these guys just failed at the main event level, and
yeah,
and then, yeah, so that, and then Sheamus versus Cesaro for the U.S. Championship.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Sheamus holds on here to the belt.
Yeah.
Again, this feels like a bit of a step down for Cesaro too.
Who won the Andre the Giant Memorial bout, and all of a sudden, Paul Heyman, and then that kind of felt.
I remember, yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've heard companies say that they're not giving up on the guy. They want to focus all their time on Roman Reigns right now.
Yeah.
That's their guy. They don't want to push too many guys to the top. I guess in a way.
Yeah.
They want to maybe go one at a time. I guess that's all creative can really handle is pushing one guy at a time, really. So, I guess it's just so they don't want to screw up Roman Reigns' push because I guess they figure, we're focused on two guys, maybe even a third guy. Maybe we start losing less focus on this guy then, and that guy this looks badly then eventually. And I mean, like I said, this company's trying so hard not to fail at creating new stars in a way.
Yeah.
Because
it's like you got a problem with concentration.
Exactly.
Yeah. Actually, that's probably a pretty good point there. The company does have a problem with concentration when it comes to they've done such a shitty job with creating new stars, building new stars.
Yeah. I guess they're being, cautious of how they do this with,
Well, yeah, because if they screw up Roman Reigns, I don't know. I don't know where else this company can really go as far as creating new stars then, because, Reigns has the look, he has the song, he has the entrance.
This guy, the catchphrase.
He has a catchphrase. He has everything that you could have. Bobby Lashley, which I think was the last real attempt at trying to create a new star. Like, couldn't talk on the mic, couldn't do this here, but even then, he had this look down, look like a superstar pretty much. So Reigns has something that Lashley doesn't have, so I think that already he's a better pick, but yet this company, they screw this up. Yeah. You got to be terrified that you're a fan then, because where else can this company win? I say Dean Ambrose, but even then, they could screw him up easily too.
Yeah. Yeah, then you bring up Bobby Lashley, then again, he goes to TNA champion, and I guess that doesn't mean much compared to WWE anymore, though, obviously. No. So, but it is a little ironic.
Did you know why Bobby Lashley left the company?
Back in the
yeah.
Well, I remember following that, and there was like maybe Michael Hayes. There was definitely a
his girlfriend quit. Oh no! His girlfriend got fired.
Well,
so he quit then.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe that's definitely that factored into it too.
No. I've been told that's the main factor.
I mean, it could be, but I remember, that he was ready to come back from his injury or something, and Michael Hayes, who does have a bit of a history of being racist.
Yeah.
Apparently, like they didn't have anything for him or something. I don't know. I remember at the time that's what I was hearing, but I guess
I'm telling you, it's because they fired his girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, I mean that could definitely be part. I mean,
that's the reason why John Morrison quit too, is because Melina got fired, his girlfriend.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but it could be more.
I'm just telling you that's the reason why.
Well, not that. I mean, it could be one of the reasons, but I'm saying there's probably other.
I'll tell you, it was the main reason why. I
remember following on the forums, and back in the day, and I remember reading how Michael Hayes.
Yeah, but
didn't have.
It wasn't like that was directly related to Bobby Lashley. There were other wrestlers that were pissed off about that too.
But
and Heyman did get punished. I mean, I'm sorry. Hayes did get punished for that. I remember he did
Yeah.
get suspended for the comments and so on there. I mean, so I mean, but the real reason that supposedly that has been proven essentially is that his girlfriend quit. I'm trying to think who his girlfriend was. I think it was a former diva, and it was actually someone who was
Crystal, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was Crystal. Maybe she was the person that was involved in that potential Edge love triangle with Vicky Guerrero.
Well, I think she
like remember when Edge and Vicky actually got married, and they did this whole bit, and all of a sudden Triple H reveals that this other female, the receptionist called Crystal, was the reason pretty.
Well, I think they had
has actually kissed Edge and actually is love of Edge. Maybe they dropped that segment quick, but I think Crystal even did that whole Teddy Long love story too.
Yeah.
Where, Teddy has a heart attack on his wedding night on the wedding too.
Well, I think Lashley and Crystal had a kid around that time too. Maybe after that or.
All I know is that when Lashley first showed up in TNA, his girlfriend showed up with him too, as well. It's kind of like his mouthpiece. She actually did a pretty decent job too in that. I mean, she kind of played the bitchy girlfriend pretty well because he was kind of a came as a babyface, but once she was pretty much his manager, he became a heel because she just had that voice that just played like the perfect. Bitchy girlfriend kind of like my boyfriend will kick your ass if you insult me. Yeah. Essentially.
Chris Jericho against Randy Orton.
Probably Jericho's last appearance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Orton. He's gonna get his win. He's gonna get a win back finally.
Yeah. Orton gets a win back.
Yeah.
And then Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. At least right now, it's 1-on-1. Maybe Kane gets thrown in there for a handicap match as we brought up earlier. And maybe some kind of Dean Ambrose interference. I don't know. I mean, see, it's tough to call that match right now, regardless of if he's injured or not.
Well, his injury was his shoulder injury was only day to day. It wasn't as bad as the RG3 injury.
It's day to day. Yeah.
Was as bad as the RG3 injury?
Right.
Was.
Yeah. RG3. I mean, he's injured. I guess you would say.
Well,
Jackson's day to day.
But like for him, it wasn't a fractured ankle. So he's not going to be out for the season.
He could be back sooner than
I mean,
originally
thought. It all depends how Kirk Cousins does too. They might have a quarterback situation that Washington May doesn't want to deal with. Yeah. But because Kirk Cousins came in there and that offense, I know people are going to say it was against Jacksonville, but you know what? Same Jacksonville team kind of shut us down pretty well.
Yeah, I mean,
Washington,
week 1 and 2, I know, but
and no, I've already given up on Jacksonville as being a playoff stealer. Whatever this team showed in the preseason died in the second half against Philadelphia. Even this team can play a great, terrific first half. They don't have the depth, and they
don't have the quarterback. With all due respect to local Chad Henne.
And like I said, and honestly, I would stick with Henne. I would not throw Blake Bortles in this mess as a rookie.
Yeah, not right now.
Even if he's better, even if he's the better option, I'd wait until you maybe throw a little more talent around.
Yeah, I think and they'll develop him more.
Yeah. Look, I mean, let's look at Aaron Rodgers. How long did he sit on the bench behind Brett Favre till he finally came in? Kind of benefited him by doing that too.
Yeah.
Another person I think was Phillip Rivers too. Drew Brees' quarterback. He was backing for a while. That kind of benefited him on the sideline. Yeah. Because what? He studies the playbook. He doesn't need to worry about rushing or wording stuff fast. I mean, some reason now teams they got to rush a guy out there right away and they got to pick it up right away. And everybody does that. And sometimes you got to just be patient with them. Yeah. If you got a quarterback and it's a veteran, go for it. It's all about long term and short term in the end for some of these franchises, really. Yeah. So if I'm Jacksonville, don't panic. It's 0-2. I would have rushed Bortles out just because this offense is starting to shut down now due to lack of receivers now.
Yeah. It's not like, New Orleans, who's 0-2 right now. And it's supposed to be, one of the premier teams in the league.
Carolina's not going to be a pushover this year either.
Yeah, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't look like they're going to take that big step back that many people.
The defense is solid and
this was a top 3 or 4 defense last year.
Kelvin Benjamin, I think, has done okay as a rookie, and Jason Avant even got former Eagle again, once again, and honestly, that's another big miss. I think we're gonna have is Jason Avant because that's a veteran. That's veteran leadership there.
Mr. Third, and he was like Mr. Third Down. I
exactly,
think.
Mr. Reliable, and I can't. I'm sorry, Eli Cooper's not Mr. Reliable. He's right now. And
No,
either is Macklin or Matthews right now.
Yeah.
Matthews
is
don't even bring up
gross,
Josh
but-
Huff's name at this point.
Well,
here.
yeah.
He's not even in the equation. But no, I'm just bringing up the fact that divided locker room maybe, but it hasn't been affected yet. And like I said,
Well, I guess it remains to be seen.
And I said, people said, Jackson had locker room problems. We don't know what problems he had with certain players. If it was obviously with the quarterback, who maybe Chip likes better than Deshaun does, and he criticizes the coach. Clearly, that's but if that's not the entire locker room then.
Yeah.
So clearly, there might be guys that are still attached to Deshaun in a way that they think he got wrong maybe by the coaching staff.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see.
I'm just saying, despite all that, Tyler, he was the most productive guy on the offense.
Well, yeah, he was. Yeah.
Despite all that, then
in the receiving core, yeah.
But then again, when you have Chip coming the argument that this is where maybe Chip comes in with a college mentality.
Yeah.
Which is his whole belief is that we don't have one star player. We have a team. Yeah. We got a team that no matter who I can put in will be electrifying it. And that's a college mentality.
Right. Yeah.
But Chip needs to learn in the NFL you need stars to win championships.
And I'm hoping And I mean, hopefully obviously that's something they address in the future.
And no, that was Steve Spurrier's problem in the NFL. He didn't like this idea of star players. Yeah. Certain players that had more authority over other players when it came to playbook decisions and that. Because in college, there was no star players.
Yeah.
Even if you had a great player, you still could coach the guy.
Yeah.
Now you got contracts to worry about and agents and so on. And listen, Steve Spurrier could handle it, and that's always been this question about what college coaches can handle it and which can.
Yeah.
And usually the ones that can are the ones that have some NFL experience. Like, Pete Carroll has NFL experience. And so he actually knows the NFL better. Chip has no NFL experience in that. So there's always been that fear of, can this guy handle it here? Now, granted, a certain guy from Miami, Jimmy Johnson, had no NFL experience. Yeah. He came in and created a dynasty in Dallas in the 90s.
Yeah.
But he also had, and people always said, Chip has that Jimmy swag kind of. He comes in and he's got like this commanding, like, you will respect me. I am the head coach. I am the head coach of this franchise here. You don't like it, you can leave.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what his mentality was for Jackson. But there's some players that said, yeah, but he also was the most productive guy on your team. He helped make your offense better in a way.
Most productive receiver on the team, I guess. Because, I mean, to be fair, LaShawn McCoy had more yards overall.
Good point.
Right now, you look at right now.
Who, once again, probably is a supporter of this offense because I think it means he's getting the ball more.
Yeah.
And
20 plus carries a game.
And don't get me wrong, maybe Jackson hated the fact that it was turning more from an aerial threat like with the Andy Reid offense into more
West
of a run
based,
pass based offense and that. And maybe that's why Kelly got rid of it. Maybe he said, I don't want to go for deep threat guys. I want to go for short screen passes and I want to move the chain down the field and so on. I don't want to go for the aerial show in a way. Like I said, I can get that there, but the fact that you still have people in the locker room that still are maybe have not rallied behind this coach yet and still have this idea of, was that a mistake on our part maybe to get rid of Deshaun? That's got to make you nervous as an Eagles fan then. I'm just saying when you have a divided locker room in the NFL, it's not a good sign either way.
Yeah.
There's no way you can spin it. It's not good when you have guys still, especially coming out in the public and making comments.
Yeah. Well, I'll be interested in, maybe hearing from like Tim McManus or something if something like this is, or somebody who's definitely like in tune with what's going on with the Eagles locker room and everything. I'll definitely be looking for to hear about that, but yeah, so obviously, big game against the Redskins. Sounds like Deshaun Jackson is gonna play.
Yes,
hurt or not.
It sounds like he'll be good. But even if he's only at 85%, I still would take him over corners.
He'll still be a deep threat.
Yeah.
No matter so.
And not to mention, he's not the only guy on this team. I mean, Alfred Morris is
he's having a good
season so far.
Yeah. So yeah, they can't sleep on him either, obviously. So,
and like I said, this offense to me is more geared towards Kirk Cousins than RG3, and maybe
more more conventional.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not gonna be running like RG3. I mean, maybe some people have the theory that like RG3 is trying to, prove too much to everybody that he's still RG3 and make these plays, and I don't know, that's definitely been a theory there, and. Now he's banged up again.
Yeah.
Even without getting hit. So I mean, I guess unfortunate for him, but I don't think it hurts the Redskins too much. I think Kirk Cousins is a decent backup.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll see how that goes. Obviously, I gotta head to class soon. So.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, if there's any last thoughts you wanna get in here before we close it down.
Last thought for me is just that this defense Washington's going to be very good this game. I think.
All right.
I mean, like I said, I know you had this debate here. I think.
We'll see.
I think right now this is the best defense in the NFC East.
I mean,
hands down.
We'll see
first 2 games.
We'll see how they handle.
Paper,
yeah.
First best. As right now, the best defense in the NFL right now, as far as yards given.
Through two. Yeah, I mean, week 2. I mean, things change throughout the season, so I mean, it remains to be seen if long term.
And I said 10 sacks against Jacksonville, and we got I think still an O-line problem. Foles better getting ready to scramble in that pocket a lot.
I mean, get the ball out quickly.
And like I said, can Sproles keep it going? I don't think he can because he's 31, 9 years. That's close to retirement. And this time in the NFL for a running back.
Yeah. But
especially he's going to be taking a lot of hits.
Still they're going to have to find a way to game plan.
And like I said, I'm still not sold on our wide receivers, and I'm interested to see how Jackson comes out in Philadelphia. Yeah. I'm interested to see what his reception's going to be too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it.
That's always interesting with Philadelphia.
Jackson kind of sporting a mini afro as of late, a bit of a new style. I thought that's kind of funny, but I saw pictures of him.
Yeah, no, I mean,
but yeah, it should be interesting.
Keep an eye, and like I said, obviously you'll probably do some research on the whole locker room, maybe.
Yeah. Or I'll be hearing,
or at least
on the
some of the comments, because I'm trying to think who the guys were, but there were some guys that came out publicly and just said,
and the sources, yeah,
and they just said, look, they just don't get why Jackson no one really has explained to them why he got let go, really.
Yeah.
And really, to this, because what were the stories really, Tyler? It was Chip Kelly, wasn't so in the offense, and then it got to locker problem in the locker room, and then it got to the point where it was and this picture we happen to find on the internet, which I think was maybe it's now probably the stupidest reason to get rid of a guy now, because it was like, okay, but he has no criminal record though, and even if these guys next to him were gang members, he's part of a gang.
Yeah,
he may have no knowledge of that too.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I just think somebody owes us an explanation.
Maybe we'll be looking for some explanations.
Yep.
But yeah, so obviously, big division game this weekend.
Yeah.
We'll see how it turns out. See if the Eagles can, shut down the Redskins, and vice versa. If on offense they can still produce.
Yeah.
Without a strong receiving corps. So yeah, we'll see how things turn out.
And see if Nick Foles can start acting like Nick Foles maybe
a little more. Yeah, I mean, obviously he wasn't he's still underthrowing some guys and this and that, but at least he wasn't as bad as Jacksonville week 1. So
like I said, after that, San Francisco maybe the big first test. Even though San Francisco, I still don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. this year.
They could. I mean, who knows? They could. suspended him 12 games. So, not like anything is really riding on this Phillies season at this point, anyways. And not like we're not totally engulfed in this Eagles season that's going on in football and everything else that is going on in the world of Philadelphia sports. So anyways, 610-683-4058 is the way to get in today if you want to. We're at facebook.com/Tyler Werner Show or at Tyler Werner Show on Twitter. It's halftime here on the Tyler Werner Show, and we will be right back after this.
Gold Microphone Award-winning college radio in northeastern Berks County is KUR Kutztown, 1670 AM, on your TV by tuning to Service Electric Berks Channel 24 or 99, Service Electric Lehigh Channel 266, or Berks Hometown Utilicom Channel 28, online anywhere in the world at kur.kutztown.edu, on your smartphone by using an application like TuneIn, or on any phone, cell or landline simply by dialing 610-465-7860. Gold Microphone Award-winning college radio in northeastern Berks County is the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR Kutztown. KUR can also be heard in select campus buildings like the MSU, Rickenbach, Stratton, Rec Center, and Keystone at 88.3 FM.
Nominated for Best College Radio Station at an institution with under 10,000 enrollment and winner of Best Use of Social Media, your news leader in northeastern Berks County, KUR Kutztown.
The KUR News Time is the top of the hour. I'm Mike Regensberger. Good news for community college students wanting to transfer here to KU. On Monday, the presidents of Reading Area Community College, or RAC, and KU signed a reverse transfer agreement, meaning that students who transfer from RAC to KU can now count KU credits toward a RAC associate degree or credit certificate. The official signing occurred in the River Room of RAC's Yoakum Library. Students must first complete 30 credits at RAC to qualify. If this sort of arrangement sounds familiar, it is. The agreement, the Reading Eagle reports, is very similar to one KU made with Montgomery County Area Community College, or Montco, just back last month. Checking KUR sports, members of the Kutztown University baseball team received a once-in-a-lifetime experience on Monday. In honor of its recent conference championship, the Golden Bears were invited to the State Capitol building, given a tour of the facilities, and recognized during the afternoon session of Senate. Special thanks to KUBears.com for the support, where you can read full details on Monday's historic visit. Monsoon Mike says, oh my gosh, this weather is absolutely amazing. Sunshine today, tomorrow, the day after, the day after, the day after, the day after. I don't really see any rain until maybe Monday of next week.
Join the mirth and merriment of the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair as His Majesty Henry VIII supremely reigns over the revelry Saturdays and Sundays, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. through October 26th. Advanced discount tickets at PARenfair.com. Experience the fantasy of the glorious Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair.
The Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, a kingdom for everyone.
Turnpike exit 266. Tickets at PARenfair.com. Long live the king!
Huzzah!
Erasure. Live in the Violet Flame Tour. September 21st, 8 p.m., the Santander Performing Arts Center. Reserve seats are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Charge by phone, Ticketmaster retail locations, and the Santander Arena box office. For more info, 610-898-SHOW or log on to slpconcerts.com. Produced by SLP Concerts.
Potts Hot Dogs is pleased to announce the grand opening of Potts U Saturday, September 20th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Customers joining in the inauguration at 100 North Constitution Boulevard in Kutztown will receive one free hot dog. The ribbon-cutting ceremony will take place at high noon, hosted by ambassadors from Northeast Berks County Chamber of Commerce. The dogs start at $1.60, keeping it affordable for everyone at Potts. Potts U is open Monday through Wednesday, 10:30 to 9, and late night Thursday through Saturday until 3 a.m. Free delivery is also available by calling 484-648-2808. For late-breaking news, weather, sports, and traffic, sometimes before we can even get it live on the air, make sure you like our award-winning Kutztown University Radio Facebook page or on Twitter at KU Radio. From KUR News, I'm Mike Regensberger.
Any views or opinions expressed on KUR are not necessarily those of Kutztown University, Kutztown University Student Government, Kutztown University Student Services Incorporated, KUR staff and management, or other affiliated organizations.
.705 right here in the Tyler Werner Show on Kutztown Radio. And it is time to give my top 5 impressions around the NFL this week. As I mentioned earlier, it was a very dramatic week, too, in the NFL. Not just, when it comes to the Eagles game or other things that happened around the league, but with some of the games this past week that happened. Number 5 was the Thursday night football game with the Baltimore Ravens. In the midst of, Ray Rice, that situation and everything that's been going on there, they hold the Steelers to only 6 points for a blowout win on Thursday night football. That was a game I called last week. It was one of my pressure picks. A tight division game, but I didn't expect the Ravens to lay a beat down on the Steelers like that. I mean, the Steelers couldn't move the ball against the Ravens, and Ravens held them to only 6 points, and they prevent themselves from being one of those teams that get off to an 0-2 start. So meanwhile, they're now 1-1 along with the Pittsburgh Steelers. In the AFC North there. So that was number 5. Number 4 is the Bears rally to a late comeback win over the 49ers on Sunday Night Football. The 49ers were trying to put this game away, and the Bears wouldn't let them. And then the Bears just come back and score all these unanswered points. The Bears were down 20-0. They couldn't do anything the entire first half, and they just put on a big comeback. Colin Kaepernick, they pick him off 3 times. He could be out for the season here. I guess, I read that. Well, let's see. Ian Rappaport reports that two sources informed of Griffin's injury that the signal caller dislocated his ankle. He will undergo further tests. Jay Gruden confirmed the news at the post-game conference. He suffered an AC joint sprain. I'm sorry, that's Jackson. Jackson suffered an AC joint sprain, and he stayed a day. So he could very well play, but it sounds like, they hope maybe RG3 can play maybe later in the season, but I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if they really want to do that. I mean, if Kirk Cousins plays, decent. Now, I don't know if it's, they'll play decent enough to win the division and shock the Philadelphia Eagles down the road in the season. But, I don't think there's a big drop off here. I mean, from RG3 to Kirk Cousins. I mean, as far as backup quarterbacks goes in the league, I mean, Redskins are. Have one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league as far as Kirk Cousins is concerned. So, I don't think that if you're a Redskin fan, that big win against the Colts Monday night. I see this game with the Redskins being competitive. Actually, I don't see a big one-sided game here.